All right, what's up, everybody? Look, I wanted to bring you a quick update because I believe Ethereum could be in a position to see a 30 to 40% correction to the downside. Now, I know you're not going to like to hear that, but at least hear me out and then make your opinion after. So looking at ETH here, what we can see is that its price has been doing extremely well, right? It's been doing extremely well. I mean, if we just look at from, beginning of 2023 to now, the dang thing's up 128%. And realistically, just in the last 4 or 5 months, it's up another 60%, putting in some very strong gains to the upside. But what I told you all is that in the last video is that we needed to be extremely careful right here, right? As its price was inching closer and closer upwards, we knew it was running into the strongest level of resistance in Ethereum's chart history, and that is going to actually be this 618 to 786 macro Fibonacci zone right here. What you can see here is that there's a Fibonacci zone between $2,539 and $3,380 that is, again, the strongest level of resistance that Ethereum's ever seen. From its strongest bull market high to its strongest bear market low, we're going to create the strongest Fibonacci retracement levels. And I told you all that as we approach this level, we need to be extremely careful because the likelihood of a pullback off of this level is extremely high. And so with that in mind, I want to talk about what we are seeing now because its price is running into that key level of resistance and why it could entail a 30 to 40% correction to the downside. And before we do get into that, I did want to let you guys know that if you want to do any of your trading, use the affiliate link down below over from Margex. You don't need to KYC, meaning you don't need to give them your personal information. You don't need to use a VPN from wherever you are in the world. You can simply just deposit funds and start trading over with leverage, isolated leverage, cross trading leverage, a sliding scale. You can set take profits. You can set your stop loss. You can set all of these things very easily, very hassle-free, and if you use my link down below, you'll get a couple $100s in deposit bonuses, so make sure you go check it out and let me know what you think. But with that in mind, of course, let's talk about how in the world Ethereum could see a 30 to 40% correction from this point forward. Well, let me kind of set the scene a little bit. If we do go ahead and get rid of this Fibonacci level, what you can see is that Ethereum, while it was making all of these moves throughout the bear market, put itself into an ascending structure, okay? Very, very clear, very obvious, 3-touch to bottom side, 3-touch to the top side, ascending structure, okay? Now, what you need to understand is that ascending structures have a 70 to 85% chance for Ethereum to break to the downside. And then for that few 15 to 20% that don't break to the downside, only about 50% of them can even maintain their move to the upside without getting pulled back into that ascending structure and breaking to the downside. And so that means that although we did make this move to the upside here, which was extremely rare and extremely uncommon and something that doesn't normally happen, we still now have less than half or less than 50% chance that this move to the upside is even going to maintain or hold without us breaking back to the downside. This is the most likely scenario here, right? And so again, yes, we are in a bull market. Yes, we are getting increasing volume as we did get the breakout. Yes, we do have possible ETF news for Ethereum. Yes, we do have the Bitcoin halving. Yes, we have a ton of bullish catalysts approaching. But what I never do is let catalysts or I just never let my emotions or things that are more emotion based affect what the chart history says, because oftentimes chart history is the one thing that you can rely on to not have a bias, right? And so because of this, considering that we still do have an over 50% chance of getting a break back into this ascending channel and then maybe even further losing it to the downside, I am still being cautious. And when you mix in the fact that we do have that 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone sitting directly above us, which is the strongest level of resistance Ethereum will have ever seen in its chart, it's a perfect formula for a pullback to the downside, okay? And so because of that, now I'm being much more cautious than I was before with Ethereum, possibly even taking some profits off the table if you're really, really up. Now, there is one thing that stands in between us and actually seeing that move of 30 to 40%, and that's this little zone between $2,300 and $2,100. This little range here is going to act like a wall of support in between where we are now and where we would possibly get the break back within that ascending structure and then continue to the downside. And if Ethereum's price is capable of holding support here, we could easily continue to the upside, especially if you do sprinkle in some good news or a good catalyst or anything from the fundamental market, right? But at the end of the day, this level gets lost. We're in a position in which now we've re-entered the structure, and the odds of us going at least to the bottom side, which would look like a move of, from here about 26%, are extremely high, okay? And so because of that, again, like I said, I am still dollar cost averaging every week. I never changed that. You can see what I'm dollar cost averaging in. I just bought 10 cryptos down in the Patreon down below. You can see what I buy, what I sell, the things that I add in my portfolios, all of my portfolios, exclusive content, weekly live streams, a bunch of updates, everything like that. You can see that down below. But again, yeah, I am still dollar cost averaging every week. But in terms of going long on leverage, absolutely not. In terms of going short on leverage, absolutely not, especially until we are able to actually break and lose support to the downside. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just waiting for clarity, waiting for the structure to form, and waiting waiting till I have a clearer idea of what's going to happen with ETH, and then I'll make some moves. And so with that said, I wanted to just give you a warning today, what you need to be on the lookout for. You can call this bearish, you can call this FUD, you can call it whatever you want, but the chart history doesn't lie, and I'm not using bias to make up what I want to, to make it look like what I want it to look like, right? And so because of that, of course, I hope you do enjoy these unbiased perspectives. If you do, of course, let me know down in the comment section below. You can also let me know by liking this video or subscribing to the channel if you are new. But with that in mind, I will see you all next time. Peace out.